Blackburn Rovers are into the round 3 draw of the EFL Cup. The first time in a hell of a long time we've managed to get past round 1, round 2. JDT turning things round, back with another win. That is 4 wins in 6 games now under JDT. He's doing really well. And yeah, it's great to be in the third round for once. Back once again, guys. Just home from Bradford. Been on for a couple hours now, and ready to review tonight's game. It is currently 1 a.m. And yeah, I've had enough time to digest what I saw and everything. So yeah, it did end 2-1 to Blackburn. A fair result, in my opinion. As you can see, dominated the ball, 68% possession. Had double their shots and more than double their shots on target. Although they did actually hit the post, which was a bit of a heart in mouth moment. I believe that was when they were at 1-0 up as well. So if that had gone in, the game could have well been over. But that gave us a kick up the arse, I think. And Dack and Markanday in 10 minutes completely turned the game around on its head. And after that, completely, dominated the game, saw the game out, saw the result out, and it was only until the final 10 minutes, as usual, when a team is desperate for a goal, they come knock in Bradford, and apparently Ainsley made a really good goal line clearance or goal saving clearance on the line at the end for Rovers, who had a brilliant game today. But yeah, really positive performance after 2 really poor results in a row, showing that the youngsters haven't let that get to them. They've gone out there, put in a really hard-working performance. That really high-intensity press was there as well, what was great to see. The second string are still playing the way JDT wants them to, something we haven't seen really from the first team against Reading or Sheffield United. They looked a bit knackered, didn't they, and weren't able to do the pressing, but it was great to see that today. In terms of Bradford's starting lineup, they had Lewis in net, who I thought had a decent game, to be fair to him, made a couple big saves, but unfortunately wasn't able to, well, fortunately for us, wasn't able to save Dack and Markanday's efforts, but did pull off a few good saves, to be fair to him, and he did get man of the match for Bradford. Critchlow, Ridehaw and Halliday at the back. It says Joe Rankin Costello there for Bradford, which obviously wasn't the case. I believe that should be Matty Platt. Richie Smallwood, Gilliard, Chapman, Banks, Cook and Harrett for the opposition. Smallwood and Chapman didn't really do much, to be honest, and were both subbed off at the same time and got a bit of a clap from the Rovers fans. And also Jan Sanogo on the bench there, another ex-Rovers player. In terms of our starting lineup, pairs in between the sticks, who once called upon at the end of the game, only faced 2 shots on target the entire game, obviously conceded 1, but the other one made a good save and, kept us in the game as he did against Hartlepool. Well, didn't keep us in the game at Hartlepool, but pulled off a save right at the end after having to deal with nothing all game. Ainsley at the back there, the Gibraltar national, brilliant performance today. Was really, really impressed with him, and I'm glad that he got his chance today and took it and showed that he's a decent player by all accounts. He handled their opposition quite well, did very well in the air, and didn't look out of his place at all in that back line. But my man of the match tonight would have to be Tyler Morton. He's filled in at centre-back tonight and just completely controlled the game and just put in a stellar performance. The opposition were trying to press him and force him into a mistake. He was just so calm and composed, beating players, just spreading the ball with ease, completely dictating the play from centre-back. And he didn't look out of place there, to be honest. He did quite well defensively. In the air as well, he held his own, I thought. So, man of the match performance for me tonight anyway, for Tyler Morton. Teo Edun, brilliant today again. Unfortunately, there was still a couple of mistakes there, which I think is the only thing that holds Edun back in my eyes from pushing into that first team and really taking over Pickering. Pickering doesn't really have those mistakes in his game like Edun does, but Edun does much better getting forwards and, really causing the opposition problems. I talked to a mutual friend after the game. He was a Bradford fan, and he had a lot of good things to say about Edun, saying your number 7 was brilliant, this, that and the other, caused us loads of problems, which he did, but there were still a couple of times where he was a bit sloppy, and you can't really be doing that against championship opposition because they will make you pay. And, when he come on against West Brom, for example, there was a couple really poor things he did as soon as he come on, and West Brom were lucky. We were lucky, rather, that West Brom didn't punish us. Joe Rankin-Costello, a really good performance from him today. I loved the shithousery from him to their main man Cook, who scored the goal for them. When we got our first or second, I think it was the first, he got into Cook's face and was giving him grief. I presume there must have been something said between the two of them. I believe Rankin-Costello crunched him at one point, and I imagine something must have been said for that reaction. But yeah, a really good performance from him. Was stuck in, spreading the ball quite well, and this is the Rankin-Costello that I think we've wanted back. He seems like he's found his form again, and I'm happy for him, and hopefully can keep that up. And if he is called upon in the near future for the championship, if Britain was to get injured, he's more than ready to go, in my opinion. Jake Garrett, his first professional game for Rovers, and what a performance it was. I've been saying in regards to Lewis Travis, if he was to get injured, we wouldn't have anyone to come in and do what he can do. But Jake Garrett has shown me tonight that he is more than capable of that, in my opinion. Got stuck in, didn't shy away from challenges at all, really spreaded the ball well. Was always there to receive it, wasn't scared of it, wasn't scared to even take a shot on, and a really good performance from him today. And obviously, JDT in that first game didn't play him, didn't favour him for whatever reason. He's only coming to the side tonight because Morton's had to play at centre-back, but he's definitely given some food for thought, because in my opinion he put in a much better performance than Morton did. Morton didn't have a bad game by any means, but didn't really impact things as much as he did against Hartlepool, and there were a couple of sloppy things here and there from him, but it's still a 6-7 out of 10 for Adam Morton, in my opinion. Markanday, obviously, that's 2 games in a row now in the first team he scored. He looks a real handful. He caused their fullbacks all sort of problems with his dribbling, setting them on the floor, just dancing in the box, and should have also had a penalty. In my opinion, it was in the box, that foul, but it was, the referee gave it just outside. But from what all the Rovers fans were saying, they were saying it was inside, as you could expect. But nevertheless, we still won. But a really complete performance today from Markanday, especially with that goal, and impressed me more than Tyrese Dolan did, to be honest, who has been a bit quiet this season. Obviously got his goal against Hartlepool, but other than that, really hasn't done much for me. And if Markanday carries on like this, he could very well force his way in over Dolan. Another goal for Dack, what was great to see. Really dictating the play, quick little passes, not having to take any touches really, which just shows Dack's class. He can receive the ball in such tight areas and quickly lay it off with one touch passing, whereas other players would need to take a touch and would maybe get the ball dispossessed off them. But a really good goal with his weak foot, and Ty did get the assist, to be fair, and then Vale also assisted Markanday for his goal. A nice little ball, to be fair, and perfectly put it on his left foot for him to tuck it away. But another quiet game for Vale, really. But not a bad performance by any means, but not one of the best performances today, in my opinion. Here here are the stats, and as can be seen, Jack Vale down there. I'm surprised Ainsley and Edun are down there, to be honest. As I'm surprised with Garrett, but yeah, judging by these stats, Bradley Dack was your man of the match, or Dylan Markanday was your man of the match. But I would personally give it to Morton, who's there with a 7.3 from centre back, who did really well today, and Andy Cook obviously with a 7.1 there. Got a goal and seems to be a good player at that level. But as you can see there, 22.1 years, the average age for Rovers, which is just mind-boggling to think. And, you know, the average for Bradford is 4 years older. What paints a picture, really, doesn't it? Here's the shot grids from the game. Just look at that Bradford shot. Somehow, I think that went out for a throw-in by the looks of it. But yeah, God knows who took that one on. Whoever did needs to hang their head in shame, I think. But yeah, a lot of shots in and around the box. What's good to see for Rovers. And yeah, I mean, what more can be said regarding that? But here's the heat maps. As you can see, Rovers practically all over the pitch there, and more down that left-hand side, which was Ty's side, and then when Diaz come on was his side. Here are what the fans have to say on Twitter. James says, young lads doing what the first team couldn't after conceding. They didn't give up. They worked their way back in. That's the spirit we've missed these past two games. Get Markanday and Dack in the squad for Stoke game, and let's play with some passion like the first three games. That is something I did pick up on, the fact that, you know, we went 1-0 down, which is obviously something that happened against Sheffield United and Reading, and something that didn't happen in the first four games, if you're going to count Hartlepool. The first four games which we won, we didn't go a goal down in any of them games, but today we did. We went one down, and I were concerned, thinking, you know, we haven't come back and won a game this season, but they showed a lot of fight and character, just as James is saying, to get themselves back in the game, dust themselves off, and, you know, get the 2 goals and then show a really composed and mature performance from such a young team to see the game out. Andrew says, superb win by the youngsters tonight, but doesn't mean they're ready for the Championship or for Saturday for that matter. In regards to that, I would say Edun, I think, could potentially displace Pickering. I haven't been too impressed with Pickering, to be honest, as of late. And Edun has had sloppy mistakes at times, but overall rather, has been a better performer than Pickering, in my opinion. It's just those silly little mistakes he needs to get out of his game. In my opinion, Smodic hasn't impressed me at all, to be honest. He got his goal. Fair play to him, he took it well, but at the end of the day, it were an easy goal, to be honest. Hedges put it on a plate for him. He just had to tuck it away. It's not something Dack would not finish. Dack could, you know, kill for a chance like that. I think Dack's obviously scored 2 games in 2 now in the Cup from when he started, and that is what he offers. If he gets a chance like he did tonight and like he did against Hartlepool, he takes it, and he only needs one and he takes it, and either of those games I don't think he really had any other chances. So in my opinion, I think Dack should be knocking on the door on Saturday to get in over Smodic. It's just a question of fitness. If he's not fit enough, then, you know, you can't argue with putting Smodic in ahead of him. But if a fully fit Dack and a fully fit Smodic, I think I'd rather have Dack from what I've seen. And in terms of Markanday, I think he could very well be knocking on the door for the bench at least. Against West Brom, he was playing in the under-21s before that game. But I think from what I've seen, he fully deserves to have a real go coming off the bench in the Championship, from what I've seen anyway. But obviously it is different, you know, opposition at the end of the day. Fraser says, excellent result given the circumstances. Might be life in the old dog yet. I'm not sure what old dog he's referring to there, but I mean, yeah, it was great to get a result with such a frail back line, but brilliant under the circumstances. Morton played his socks off, as did Ainsley. And yeah, it's great to actually get into the next round of the Cup, which is something we haven't done for a long time, especially in the EFL Cup. Since I've been a Rovers fan, we've only had those runs in the FA Cup. We kind of never really took the EFL Cup seriously as long as I've been a fan. Anyway, Miggsy says, well played lads, bit of a distraction, but we move. It is a nice distraction, I think. This season is likely going to be a mid-table season. I think most Rovers fans are expecting that. And to have a cup run, which hopefully doesn't, put any of our first team players out of commission again, like Scott Morton did in that against that Hartlepool game. It could be a nice distraction. To get one of the big six would be brilliant, wouldn't it? Or just to even have a cup run, no matter who we get. It's something that I'd love to see. It's been so long now. It's been, since Kyle, so it's been like 5 years since we've had a cup run. So I think I'd love to have that really, and hopefully draw one of the better teams. Lars says, I did not expect that. I don't think anyone really did once they saw that lineup, seeing Morton at the back, which, I think I saw someone on Twitter said that, I think JDT was trying to prove a point to the board almost that, look, I'm having to play a bloody midfielder at centre-back, like, I need some players, which is, a joke really, but he's having to play there, and I saw a few Liverpool fans weren't really happy at the fact he was playing there. And Jack says, Wembley 4 times in one season, go on then. We can only dream, I guess. I heard the results after tonight's games. Walsall losing 1-0 to Charlton. The Dingles unfortunately beat Shrewsbury, but only took half the amount of fans that we took to Bradford. Just a little fact for you there. Even though their journey was an hour and a half compared to our hour journey, to be fair, but we took double. So we win the attendance tonight in terms of away fans at least. Sheffield Wednesday beating Rochdale 3-0. Everton only just turning over Fleetwood 1-0. Aston Villa smacking Wanky Wanderers 4-1. You love to see that. Crawley Town beating Fulham 2-0. That is a shock result. Wow. So yeah, obviously it isn't as easy as it looks, taking on these League Two sides. It's their cup finals, Today was a big game for Bradford. Obviously, Blackburn, we are a big club, and going to Bradford, they would have been well up for it, I'm sure. And, it shows a lot of character about the boys, and they've put in a really good performance, fair play to them. And they've took their chances tonight and shown that they don't feel like they're too big for this game to get up for it, which they did. MK Dons beating Watford 2-0, a shock result there. Newport County beating Pompey 3-2. Brentford beating 2-0 to Colchester. Notts Forest beat Grimsby Town 3-0. Leicester 0-0 but goes to penalties and they win 3-1 on penalties. What is happening at Leicester? The fact they've had to go to penalties against Stockport. They're in such a bad run of form right now. I don't know what's going on there. I think Brendan Rodgers needs the backing desperately. They haven't made any signings other than a backup keeper, which is just shocking to think for a Prem side who were knocking on the door for Champions League football not so long ago. Southampton beating Cambridge United 3-0. Wolves beating the Nobbers 2-1. You love to see that. Norwich beaten on penalties by Bournemouth 5-3 after a 2-2 draw. Dean Smith is going to be under pressure, you would think. Crystal Palace beating Oxford 2-0. Morecambe, who took us out of the cup last time round last season rather, beating Rotherham 1-0, so hopefully we stay away from them. Lincoln beating Barrow on penalties 3-1. Derby County beating West Brom 1-0, a shock result there. Obviously, we did the business today against Bradford 2-1. Stevenage beating the Posh 1-0. Gillingham winning on penalties after a 0-0 with Exeter City and beating them 6-5 on penalties. And then tomorrow we have at 6:45 Forest Green versus Brighton, a big game there for Forest Green. Wycombe taking on Bristol City. Leeds taking on Barnsley in an all Yorkshire clash. And Tranmere Rovers taking on Newcastle over the water. So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and leave any comments about what you thought of the performance today and whatnot. And I'll be back for another preview, review, and potentially a vlog for the next round of the EFL Cup. On to round 3, and hopefully we can get an exciting draw for, and hopefully another good away day. I enjoyed my trip to Barnsley. Enjoyed my trip to Bradford today. First time I've been, and it'd be good to get another good away day in this season. So yeah, cheers for watching, guys, and I'll see you later.